Let's build your business consulting plan, timestamps below, along with some other helpful videos to actually getting clients and customers on a consistent basis. Now, when it comes to different types of consulting models, before we get into packages or pricing and fee structures, we need to address the big elephant in the room, which is the F&N cycle, or feast and famine. And this is something that every new consultant goes through, where you spend all the time getting new clients, and then you get new clients and it's a feast, right? Because you have so much client work, there's so much money coming in, and you are just on cloud nine, like, I've made it, I've done it. And then 2 to 3 months later, all those client projects complete, or clients move on for whatever reason, even if you're offering something that's reoccurring. And then all of a sudden there's this famine period where, like, where'd all the clients go? I'm trying to, why won't anyone book a strategy or sales call with me, right? And so what we need is a plan and model that allows us to break that cycle, because I went through that cycle for years, and this 3P squared model is what allowed us to finally break that cycle and go from feast and famine all the time to consistently attracting new customers, and of course having a process that allowed us to not get overwhelmed with the amount of work that we had. And so at the last part of this video, we'll go through an automated process that you can set up to consistently generate new leads, even while you're working on client work. And of course, we'll go through how to actually productize your service via a package. And so that's going to be the first part of this process. We want to design a package that we offer. And I know it sounds crazy. You're like, but I can do all these different things. I can do this service and that service. We want to start with one package that we offer, just one. And that one package actually allows us to automate the lead generation process, which is going to be really, really easy because you have just one package. I'm not telling you have to make 9 different funnels here. We're not doing 9 funnels for all of our services. And then of course, you're going to have your onboarding process. You're going to work on the whatever work you have as a consultant, and then the offboarding process. And during that part, the offboarding process, you're going to offer 2 upsells, one reoccurring and one that's just another one-time project or one-time package. And the reason you want to do things this way is it's always easier to sell to current customers than going and finding new customers. And because you're only offering one package on the front end, you can have an automated process that's bringing in potential customers and leads while you're doing all the work. And because you're only offering one package, you can really focus on streamlining the process of onboarding, client work, and offboarding, and you're going to be able to easily scale, as opposed to every single client having different requirements or a different project. And once you have this model down, you have your initial 3 products, your package, and then you have your 2 upsells. Then you're going to think about creating add-on offers. Then you'll create additional upsells. And only after you have all of those 7 offers on the back end of that one package do you go and make 2 other packages. So we'll get to how to design the packages, what add-on offers and upsell offers could look like, and fee structures and all that fun stuff. But first, let's talk about your ideal customer. Now, if you already know who your ideal customer is, and you're rolling your eyes at this point going, I know who I'm supposed to be selling to, let's just get to the meat of this, then here's the timestamp to skip ahead to that. Now, we're going to use this very basic sentence to understand who we are selling to and why ultimately they are doing business with us. Because spoiler alert, nobody cares what we do, right? The clients that we get, they don't care what we're working on. They care what they get at the end of the engagement. And so we want to complete this sentence. I help ideal client take action, achieve result so they can benefit. Now let's use the classic marketing example of drilling holes, right? Because we are the drill, right? We drill holes in the walls so that they can mount a TV, so that they can secure a bookshelf, so that they can hang, family photos, right? They care about what they're able to hang as a result of having that hole. They don't really care how the drill works, right? And so it's really easy when you're thinking about how to get started with your consulting business to get really focused on, oh, I can do this, this and I can do that, but your client doesn't care. They just want to hang the TV on the wall. They just want to hang pictures on the wall, right? They're not really concerned with the mechanism of how that actually takes place or how long or short the process may or may not be. So taking our basic sentence here, we could say something to the effect of, I help people who just moved in drill holes in walls so they can hang bookshelves and pictures. And at this point in your consulting business plan, that's as deep a dive as you need to go with your ideal customer profile. We just want to know, what do they want at the end of all this? A better relationship with people around them, a more obedient dog, more clients and customers, or a healthier body, whatever it may be. What's in red at the end of the sentence is ultimately what people want. You and I are really concerned about the action, right? Because we know how much work that's going to be. That's the work that we're doing. But the client cares about what's in red. They care about the end result, the end benefit. So I'll link up in the cards and the description to a video that takes a much deeper dive on creating a more full and complex customer profile. But for now, this is going to be perfect and all we need to move into the next step, which is actually designing our offer, designing our front end package. Now, as we dive into the examples of different packages and how we can put them together, just remember that at the end of the day, all of a package needs to do is deliver a specific result, because your client is here and they want to be over here, and our package is the thing that gets them there, right? And so this could be as simple as package 1 gives you this many social media graphics for Instagram and Facebook, and package 2 adds some other social platforms to the graphic parking lot, graphic pack, or the designs that are being delivered to the client in a graphic design example. Or it could be a package of, you get a web page with this many pages, or a media buyer or digital agency, marketing agency like myself, you get X number of campaigns, or we can guarantee X number of clients. Although especially when you're first starting out, I highly recommend staying away from guaranteeing results. We want to focus on deliverables, because there are so many variables when it comes to clients' businesses, although that's probably a rant for another day. So of course, next question is, well, how do I know what exactly my ideal customer wants? The good news is there are plenty of places that you can go to get inspiration. The first would be Upwork Services, and the second would be Fiverr Pro Gigs. Now, pump the brakes, because I'm not saying go use those platforms to get clients. That's not really a recipe for long-term success, although freelancers do pretty well on those platforms. What you want to do is head over to those platforms, type in a service like graphic design or web design or digital marketing, or whatever your niche or industry is. Keep these searches very broad, and then just start scrolling through and seeing the different projects and gigs that are offered. And of course, the pricing, please ignore the pricing, because the pricing is totally off and whack on both of those platforms. A lot of the prices make absolutely no sense for what's being delivered, whether it's too high or just ridiculously low. So we'll get to pricing and fee structures in a moment. But when it comes to figuring out what are people actively looking for, you can actually see what your potential customers are already being presented with, and you can get an idea of how you can bundle different services together to make your package. And the cherry on top, you can actually get some insight as to what people actually care about, because the reviews are public. So you can actually go to the review section and look for the negative reviews, because the negative reviews are going to tell you a lot more information than the positive ones. Because if you go through the positive ones, a lot of people on those platforms, they'll just be like, great job, I really like this, or I really like that. And they don't really give you much insight, but the negative reviews let you know what those offers are missing or how they missed the mark. And at the very least, will help you with your sales conversations, understanding objections or roadblocks that some of your ideal clients are going through. So you can go through those two resources to really get some good ideas. And then while you're getting your ideas, you actually want to create 3 different tiers of your package. And so it's very important that it's only one package, okay? At the end of the day, it's only one package, but we can have a standard package. We could have the premium, like everything under the sun version, and then we could have the light version, right? So what's most important is the end result is the same. You're just going to do more of the same, or do a little more work for the bigger package or a little less work for the smaller package, right? So the reason that this is so important, and this is so so critical that we stay with one package is because if we offer more than one thing, we can't systematize and productize our service. We can't focus on what our onboarding emails look like if we have to send a special email to every single new client. We can't invest the time and energy in making special onboarding videos if one person is getting this type of product or service and the next person's getting something completely different. And we've actually gotten comments from new clients who are actually impressed and appreciative that we actually have videos very similar to these. It's not like we have a huge production budget, but we just have basic videos that go through, here's the process, here's what we need from you, here's what to do next. But you don't want to invest that time if every single client you're giving a different service to. And so you're going to have a lot of economies of scale when you have one package, like I'm saying one and I'm holding up my finger twice, one package, right? And then you're able to really focus on that process. I can't stress enough how important that is. So here's how we can, a couple of steps that you can go through to actually figure out how to actually design your packages and start coming up with some upsell and add-on offers. Now the good news is we've already completed step number one. We help ideal client achieve results so they can result or roadblock. And so step number two, we want to answer the question, what do they physically get? At the end of the engagement, our client receives a report, an image file, web page, 5 campaigns. What is physically in their hands, or sent over email or whatever you decide to use? What do they physically receive at the end of the engagement, right? And so even if you're just doing coaching or consulting, you want to figure out what can you physically deliver to someone. Even if you're just doing coaching or consulting and it's just a report of their progress over the X amount of time they worked with you, great, then that's all you put here. But we want to focus on what do they physically get? And this ties back to why you don't want to actually sell on specific results. You want to sell on specific deliverables, because saying that, hey, we're a marketing agency, we're going to get you 500 leads in the next, X number of months. There are so many variables outside of your control. You cannot guarantee that. And it's a recipe for clients being really upset, right? So we want to focus on the results that we can deliver and the deliverables without guaranteeing a specific result, right? So number three, I know that's a fine line. Number three is going to be our clients will take action with the deliverables so they can result or benefit. So they get something at the end of it, right? Why do they care? And this comes into, well, they got a hole in their wall, right? So that they could hang their pictures so that they can enjoy looking at the pictures at the end of the day or something like that. I know it's a facetious, silly example, but we want to essentially think about, okay, now that we've given them the package, what do they do next, right? What's their next step? What's their next step with what we just gave them? What's the next step with what they just delivered, right? Because life is a journey. It doesn't just end because you've given them your end product or service, right? There's something that comes next. And so we want to know, why did someone go through this package in the first place, and what are they going to try to do next? Which leads us to the next step, number 4, which is, since most clients take action, we can offer service to help them achieve result, right? So they've gotten to from point A to point B. All right, so what B to C, and what service can we offer them to help them next, right? And so this is where add-on offers and upsell offers come in, and I'll get to add-ons in a moment. And then finally, we want to focus inward. How do we productize this delivery? You want to outline your entire process for client onboarding, outline all the steps you'd go through to do your work. So if you had to describe what you're doing to someone else that you were hiring to do it with basic skills in your niche or industry, what would you be telling them to do? Make a very comprehensive list. This is going to take you hours, okay? This last part is going to take you longer than pretty much your entire business plan at this point. And then, of course, what are we going to do in the offboarding process? How do we deliver those deliverables that we talked about in step number 2? And so this is going to help you productize your delivery and help make sure that you create a really nice streamlined process every time a client purchases the package. So it's just rinse and repeat. And because you're going to be so efficient, you're going to have time to come up with upsells and offers. So let's switch from drilling holes in the walls to food, right? Like, let's say we go to a restaurant, we order a burger, right? Well, most of the time you don't just want the burger, right? You want the fries, you want the drink, or maybe a milkshake. And so those are all add-on offers, right? We all know that McDonald's doesn't really make all that much money, if any, with just the burger, right? They make most of their money on the drinks and the fries and everything else that's added around the burger. But the burger is what gets most of us to McDonald's or Burger King. I'm more of a Burger King person. I have to admit though, the McDonald's fries, even though they're terrible for you, taste really good. So now I kind of want lunch. All right, anyway, moving on. So the point here is you want to think about add-on offers or other things that you can offer them during the process of you working that you could say, hey, we're doing this in the package, but we could also do this for you. And this is also going to help with the oh so detrimental scope creep, right? Every consultant's worst nightmare is scope creep, where you have a clear outline of what the package includes and you're going through the work process and they go, oh, but what about this thing? What about that thing? And so when clients do that, you can say, oh, we could do that. We have another offer or another package that takes care of this, takes care of that, but it's not included in what we just gave you, right? And the reason that it's a whole lot easier to handle those conversations is because you have a package that listed everything that's delivered to them, right? So it's clear that what they're asking for is not on the list of what you do, right? As part of your package. And while those conversations are never, ever going to be natural or fun, it does help you eliminate a lot of the problems that you get with scope creep, where someone thinks that it's included in the project versus they know they're asking for something extra. And it's up to us as the consultants to say, yeah, sure, we'll take care of that, versus no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that for free. That's going to take way too long. You need to purchase this add-on offer in order for us to do that. And it's just a much nicer conversation when the client knows they're asking for something that wasn't included versus they're asking for something that they thought was included. And if you've made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button. You are a champion. Now let's talk about how do we actually charge clients. Now, this is a video in and of itself, literally. So I'll link up in the cards and the description to a video that takes a super deep dive on fee structures. We're going to 80-20 the process here and just quickly go through a couple, because we're going to focus on your front end offer, which is most likely going to be your package, and then talk about how to structure for your add-ons and your upsells. Now, when it comes to different models, we have the contractor model where you're paid hourly. Nobody likes that, right? Then we have the package model, which is what we've been talking about. You bundle a bunch of services together. Here's what you get, and they pay a flat fee, which I think is the best way to go in for almost any type of consultant. Then we have the retainer model where you're paid a monthly fee to essentially be the person that answers questions. That's all it does. You don't actually physically do any work. They just shoot you off phone. They can't shoot you off a phone, right? They'll either give you a call via a booking system like Calendly or Book Like a Boss, or they'll just fire off some emails asking you questions. You don't actually physically do anything other than answer questions with the retainer model. And it's pretty nice because you just answer questions and you get paid. You'll get a lot of questions though, like a lot of questions. And then we have the percentage model where you are receiving a percentage of a predetermined amount. So a percentage of something that they're paying for, like a percentage of ad spend. And then finally, we have the add-on. And this is most likely going to be a standard flat fee. And the only way that someone gets an add-on is if they purchase something else. And while there are lots of different ways that we could calculate how much we should charge for our package, we're going to go with the basic way, which is think about how many hours is it going to take you from onboarding to offboarding. How many hours is it going to take you in terms of doing the actual work, communicating, and any other administrative things that you have to do. So the total amount of time, not just the amount of time you spend doing the actual work, but the back and forth emails, the answering questions, the onboarding call, the offboarding call, the random calls when clients don't understand things, right? Or the onboarding videos fall short. All of that time, bundle that together and then multiply it by 1.3. And that will give you a 30% margin on your time as if you were charging the client an hourly rate. And the reason that you want to do this is because there's no scientific or proven method for figuring out how much you should charge for your packages. It is really easy, however, to overcharge, and it's painful to admit, but I have done that in the past and we've had to just give refunds for ethical reasons. I'm not saying you have to too, but you want to really be cognizant of how long is this actually going to take me? And you really, really want to think about communication time, because that can also kill you along with scope creep. And you just multiply it by 1.3. That gives you a 30% margin. It also gives you a cushion, because something else that a lot of new consultants deal with is you'll total up all the hours, and you're like, wow, I just worked for a month at $6 an hour. It's a terrible feeling. My first consulting engagement came out to just under $7 an hour. I round up and say 7 because I don't remember the exact number, but I just remember thinking, I went from, yeah, I got my first client to, oh my gosh, I worked my tail off for a month and made $7 an hour. And it was not profitable, right? Because you had to pay for all of the other things that we have to pay for as consultants. So that's what I recommend doing when you're first getting started with how to actually charge for your front-end package. Again, link in the cards in the description to a full-blown video that goes through all these different pricing models and how you can actually mix and match them depending upon what your package includes. As a digital marketing agency, we actually like offering a front-end package, and then one of our back-end offers is of course monthly, because it makes sense for management of a funnel or management of a ad account. It might not make sense in your niche or industry. And so you do need to make sure that the way you're getting paid is aligned with the way you're delivering results for your clients. So again, link in the cards in the description to much deeper dive video. So now let's wrap up with everyone's favorite subject, getting new clients, right? That's more cash in the door. And this basic funnel that you're looking at works for one reason and one reason only, because we are offering one package. You cannot automate the process of getting new clients, of getting new leads, booking new discovery and strategy calls if you are a jack of all trades. And I'm being a little serious here because it is the worst thing that you can do as a new consultant, is trying to take everyone under the sun. You need to create your package, create your offer, draw that line in the sand, and don't take on any other projects, because you cannot scale when you are offering everything under the sun, and you can't create a systematized process for generating leads when you're offering everything under the sun, because landing pages that say, hey, I do everything digital marketing, pretty much never work. I'm sure there's a situation where someone in the comments going, hey, I do that and it works just fine. Right, well, that's like 1 in 100, right? The rest of us need to decide if we're a Facebook ads manager versus a Google ads manager versus a funnel builder versus a dog trainer, right? So whatever it is, and maybe even you have to specify what type of dog trainer you are, right? I don't have a dog, so I don't know. What I do know is you have to have one offer in order for your marketing to work. Otherwise, you're going to wind up writing copy, you're going to write landing pages, you're going to write ads, you're going to write emails that try and speak to 3 to 4 different people, and copy that speaks to everyone winds up connecting with no one, right? And so the basic funnel looks something like this. You're going to want to actually create content. I know, like, oh my gosh, not run paid ads? No. You're going to want to create content. You're going to create specific types of content, I'll get to in a moment, and that content will drive to your booking page. So it could be a simple video like this one that you're watching right now, and somewhere in there you'd say something to the effect of, hey, and if you want to learn more, go ahead and click the link in the description to book a free strategy call with me. And that's it. That's all you have to do. If it's in text form, you can just literally type out what I just said, and that's all you need to drive traffic to your booking page. In fact, the first 1.5 to 2 years of our consulting agency, all of our clients came through the contact page. We didn't do anything. We actually didn't even have the call to action. But when you focus on creating content that is specific to your customer, there are going to be people who watch it and go, okay, thanks, see you later. But there's going to be that small percentage of people who watch it and go, I think I need a little more help with this. And they will contact you. So there's 3 different types of content that I recommend you make. This could either be blog posts, or obviously I'm still a fan of YouTube, and it's going to be a tutorial, a review, or a decision guide. So I'll link up in the cards and the description to a super deep dive video on how to create a content marketing funnel using these 3 types of content pieces. And what's really great is after you create 3 to 5 blog posts or 3 to 5 videos, you can actually start running them as ads, and that will automatically grow your authority, because you're not just running ads like every other new consultant and blowing through your budget. You're actually getting new subscribers and new leads on a consistent basis, and And you can easily change this funnel to start using something called a lead magnet instead of driving people directly to your booking page. So again, I'll link up in the cards and the description to a video that takes a much deeper dive on how to set all of this up, and of course, the specific types of content to make and how this whole process works. Now, I want to quickly touch on groups because something that is really popular among new consultants for some reason is going into Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups and trying to quote unquote provide value. Now, I'm not saying this doesn't work. I am saying that is largely a waste of your time from what I've seen recently. So if you do decide to go this route, going into Facebook or LinkedIn groups of your ideal customers and trying to engage with different people and make meaningful interactions, follow a couple of rules here to make sure that you don't get banned and you don't come across as completely disingenuous. Number one, the smaller the group, the better, because people are more likely to be actually engaged in that group as opposed to groups with more than 10,000 people in them. There's probably not a whole lot of meaningful interactions going on there. Number two, you want to make sure that in this smaller niche group that you are in a group of people who represent your ideal customer, not other consultants offering similar services, because those just become an annoying pitch fest and nobody gets anything done in there. They just waste each other's time. And then you also, number three, want to make sure that you never promote yourself in any of the posts in any of these groups. You shouldn't even link to your own content if you do a content marketing strategy, because it'll just come off as promotional. You can link to other people's content all day long, but don't link to your own. And finally, number four, make sure that any sales conversations happens in direct message. Now, it works best if someone direct messages you with a question, but it's totally okay if you direct message someone else and ask if they want more help or offer them something else for free, because you can also get banned from these groups if you go around If you go around direct messaging everyone who's in the group saying, hey, jump on a strategy call with me, you'll also get banned, right? So you want to make sure that you're careful with the direct messages, how they start as well. So thank you so much for watching. Sincerely hope you have a much clearer picture on what on earth you can do for your business consulting plan, and of course, have an idea of what that front end package can be. So again, link in the cards in the description to videos that go through different fee structures and of course, how to create your content marketing funnel so you get an evergreen stream of new leads to your business and finally break that feast and famine cycle that most of us new consultants go through. So hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dive consulting and marketing videos just like this one. And until the next, keep building the business you love.